We're not here today to talk about any school business or what we need to do. We're here today to deliver some good news. And the first person I'm going to bring up is Catherine Edelin from Apple, and she is going to talk to us about an award that our school has received.
Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. So I'm going to keep this kind of short and sweet and to the point, but there are a lot of great pieces of information, and I'm really proud of you guys. The Apple Education Recognition Program of 2012-2013 recognizes outstanding schools and programs that are centers of innovation, leadership, and educational excellence, and demonstrate Apple's vision of exemplary learning environments. Apple Distinguished Schools are private and public K-12 and higher education institutions that provide 24/7 access, school-wide, one-to-one, with Apple Notebook or mobile devices to all students, teachers, and administrators. They demonstrate an innovative and compelling learning environment that engages students and provides tangible evidence of academic accomplishment. The administration and faculty of Apple Distinguished Schools exhibit 5 best practices: visionary leadership, innovative learning and teaching, ongoing professional development, compelling evidence of success, and a flexible learning environment. On behalf of Apple Incorporated, I'm honored to announce that of the thousands of schools that applied for this program, Owensboro Middle School has been chosen as a recipient of this very exclusive and distinguished honor. So I wanted to congratulate you. Okay, I don't know if y'all know, but this is really awesome. I mean, this is big time. There it is. Congratulations!
Photo op. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. We are extremely pleased to be awarded this recognition. Our staff certainly deserves this because they've worked very hard to implement our one-to-one, and we're just happy that Apple has recognized the hard work that has taken place here. And I'd like to recognize some of those people who put forth that work. First and foremost, our students who are not here, but I'm sure you'll tell them about this award tomorrow. Or maybe they'll read about it, might even see it on TV. Anyway, our students deserve a lot of recognition because they've worked hard to try to make our laptop initiative a real learning experience for them. The next, our teachers. All of you have worked extremely hard. You've gone the second mile. You've worked a lot at home. You've put in a lot of hours of PD time, which all is essential for an initiative like this to work. And so again, I thank all of the teachers who have put forth the extra effort to make this program a success. And we're just at the tip of the iceberg with what we're going to see in the future. I think this year is so much better than last year, and I expect next year to be even better than this year. And so it's taken us a little while to get there. We made a few mistakes maybe with the rollout last year. I know the assistant principals had a few heartburdens with trying to monitor and make sure that the access was appropriate and being used educationally rather than recreationally in some cases. And so again, I'd like to recognize those people who work so hard. They're standing back there because Mr. Powell has already been up here, but we have Rob Webb and Kevin Thompson and Patrick Tynes and John DeLacy. So again, we appreciate it. They put forward because they, like I say, have had to deal with several of the issues that have arisen by using this technology. Then we have a very special group of people. We did this initiative different from anybody else that I know of in the country. I think Apple would recognize that. But we actually planned for a pretty good while before we actually did the implementation. And we were so fortunate to be able to select 4 people who we call our digital curriculum developers. And I know that they have worked with you tirelessly in helping you, because we knew that we wouldn't get very far just rolling this out and saying, here it is. It's too much, it's overwhelming. And so we have really tried to provide support. And I don't know if any district, a lot of districts I read every day for a couple of hours trying to keep up with what's new, what's hot, and technology is about half of the information that comes across my computer and across my desk. Other school districts doing technology initiatives. And but I don't think anyone has had the quality of people that we've had. And these developers, I'd like for you to be recognized. We have Jeanette Barrero, Alicia Ferry, Josh Scherer, and Laura Wellman. And so they've we recognized their job at one time was going to end last year. So just imagine if you hadn't had their help this year. But we recognized that they were a valuable part of the team and were essential to be able to do things that we're able to do in the classroom. And so again, we don't have the best budgets in the world, but we're hoping to keep them around for a while longer, for sure. Then we started this with kind of some pilots, and we had some people to step up as teacher leaders. And so again, all of you that served in that capacity as a teacher leader, would you please stand at this time and let us recognize you? We thank you. You were the people that stuck your neck out and decided to try this and then help other teachers with what you were learning. And so again, your contribution was very valuable in this whole process. And then one of the things I said when we first started down this road is, when we push the button, it better work. And so the people who have made that happen for the most part are our tech staff. So again, I wish all the tech staff back here would stand. We've had, like a lot of cutting edge initiatives, we were trailblazing in many instances, and with our wireless networks and new hardware with a new operating system. I mean, looking back, it was a little dangerous to have gone where we've been, and you had to cross your fingers a lot to hope a lot of it would work. And so these guys have made it work when it maybe wasn't even designed to work. So they've worked a lot to make sure that we had enough bandwidth. The state has been pretty cooperative in giving us more bandwidth, and this is an issue statewide. I mean, other people are crying that they don't have enough bandwidth, and we were able to. The state recognized the enormity of this project, and so they have been very generous to steal bandwidth probably from other districts in order to give it to us, to make sure that when we push the button, something appropriate happens, and it depends on bandwidth. And so again, our guys have done a great job, and I really commend them. But you've had two people that you've worked with on a daily basis that are your tech go-to people in the buildings. And so Jared Norris and Jeff Hardesty, would you please stand? Our help desk, and I'm sure that they are invaluable when it comes to everyday procedures that have to take place. Then I didn't notice that we had any of our board members come in. I gave them information at noon at our board luncheon about this, and so they are aware of it. But again, without our Board of Education supporting this initial project, they approved about a $5 million effort over a period of years to start this project. And most of you know we used our stimulus money, I think wisely, by paying for a lot of the staff development that took place, and the initial funding for our developers was out of the stimulus funding. And so whatever we have in the way of curriculum and the work we've done, that's ours. We own it. And a lot of people just hired, a lot of districts hired people that are no longer there, and they would be hard pressed to tell you what happened to that money that they can point to and say our kids benefited because of that. But I think we can point to some people and to some curriculum and some advances we made and said that's what we bought with the stimulus money, and we still have it, and it's continuing to pay dividends, hopefully for a long time down the road through the work. And then again, we bought about $2.3 million worth of hardware on one purchase order, and so that made Apple pretty happy. So is that the biggest order you've had? So anyway, that was a big leap of faith to buy new technology that had not been in schools before. And so the MacBooks we were the first district in the nation to do a laptop project with a MacBook Air with a new operating system. And so again, we had to cross our fingers a lot because we were taking a leap of faith that it would all work. And for the most part, it's worked very well. So again, I want to thank all of you for the hard work. I know that sometimes it's a distraction, but I know that we're doing the right thing for the right reason, and I know that our kids are going to benefit from the work that we're doing. I'm not sure it helped our test scores yet, but down the road, it's going to help these kids be more productive citizens, and it's going to improve their educational opportunities. And so I know that we've had to struggle in cases to make it work, and some of you had pretty high levels of frustration, and that's natural when you have a project of this magnitude. So I appreciate all of your patience and your hard work, and you really deserve this award. Thank you a lot.
In a minute, Matthew is going to show us the application that we sent to Apple to get this award. But the one thing I want to say is this, and I've thought about, what are you going to say today? And I had some things written down, but I thought, no, I'll just speak from the heart. And, here's what I think. This award validates what you do in the classroom every day. And there's a lot of ways to measure success. And there's a lot of ways to look at what's good and what may not be good. And there's certain things that get reported and certain things that don't. And we're here every day, and we know what you do in the classroom on a daily basis. And this award from Apple validates what you do. And I just want to say thank you, because I know on a daily basis what you all do for the students of Owensboro Middle School. And I truly appreciate it. I know that these people here truly appreciate it, and use this as something that we can look at and say, hey, we are doing some good things here at Owensboro Middle School, and this is validation of that. So keep up the good work, and thank you so much for everything that you've done.
The application process included an iBook format for the first time in Apple's history, because iBooks was pretty much just developed last year. And so in order to apply, we had to make a book on behalf of Owensboro Middle School, which was a new process for me. I was not familiar with iBooks Author, but became intimately familiar with it after the application was done. And I want to thank Dave Kirk, who's right behind that camera there, who also helped a lot in this application, me getting it together, filming clips, just basically getting all the multimedia together, so thank you, Dave, for that. I just wanted to run through the application just so you were aware of all of the cogs in this wheel. This is not, believe me, this is not an award that you just kind of apply for and get. I wasn't really banking on getting it. We got the communication over Christmas break after all of y'all were gone, and I got it in my office and I went, oh my goodness. And I couldn't tell anybody, and I couldn't, because we wanted to kind of keep it under wraps until you were here and back and found out. But this is really huge. It's a really huge honor for you to receive this award. But there are specific things that Apple looks for in terms of the application. And so those are noted here in this iBook, which we will share with you electronically as well. But basically, we just start out with a profile of the school. And the very first thing they want to know about is visionary leadership. Do we have extraordinary visionary leadership in the school and in the district? And of course, our answer is yes on that. And there's much evidence there of our shared leadership. That section just chronicles our history of collaboration and planning in order to get this implemented. One of the really neat things about the iBook application and iBook Author allows you to integrate video into the production. And so we had some video that we've been making, clips we've been making for Channel 73, for the media, this, that, and the other. We grabbed those over time, and then we made some specially for this award. And I thought it might be kind of neat just for y'all to see a couple of the clips that we produced so that you know what was in the application. Because one of the assurances that we make to Apple is that we become a model site. So we will probably be getting visitors. And to that end, you at least need to know what was in the application that we submitted. So I'm going to just let Mr. Powell talk to us for a minute.
There's several videos.
Mainly facilitate, and by that what I mean is make sure that we get the right people in the right places so that they can be successful. What we've done is conducted a lot of professional development over the last year and a half to make sure that the implementation of the one-to-one MacBook Airs in the classroom is successful. We knew off the bat that there was no way that we could just hand teachers a computer and say, here you go, teach, because they wouldn't have the background knowledge or tools necessary to be successful. In previous schools and places that I've worked, we had mobile computer labs and different things, and you were lucky to get kids logged on, and the speed at which they would operate was usually very slow. So normally most of our mobile devices that I'd seen used in the past didn't work very well. But the school district made a commitment to this, and the infrastructure that we have here allows students, when they go into the classroom and they get the computer out and they turn it on, they're able to connect, and it works.
So that's Mr. Powell talking about just the basic environment. There's a section on community parent engagement. We really hit the parent training that we orchestrated pretty hard on that section, and what we teach the kids in terms of acceptable use. We talked about survey information and what people were saying about the laptop program in this section as well. The next section that they wanted to know about were innovative learning and teaching. And so we spent some time in classrooms getting clips from you, and just began to talk about some of the things that we've been seeing in terms of changed instruction. You've heard all the buzzwords that we've been talking about over these past couple of years, facilitators, directors of their own learning, that kind of thing. I think it speaks better, though, to hear it sort of from kids, and there's some kid video here in this one.
I've always wanted one. I've always tried to save up for one. Like, I want to be you so bad. Now I just want to switch schools.
It's much easier and it's much faster, so you would get more work done than you would sitting there writing in class.
Everybody open up Microsoft Word. It takes you away from the sage on the stage mentality of teaching and really puts you more as a facilitator.
It's more individualized learning. The student can work at their own pace.
Yeah, thank you.
Education portal. Laptops and social studies allow children to go anywhere in the world without buying a ticket. If they want to research a country in South America, they simply Google, for example, Brazil and maybe the Amazon rainforest.
If they need to reteach, there's a lesson they can reteach the lesson if they didn't get it. The students are a lot more on task. They enjoy the laptop, so therefore they will stay on task.
Beginning at a young age, if we can introduce this technology to our students, we can help better prepare them for the world that they're going to be living in.
When they do get to high school, they know what they're doing. When they get to college, they're prepared and ready.
Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Now, how
We also hit some of the curriculum design features that we have been seeing, and then we went into specialized uses of the laptop. We did a clip on smart music. I'll just play a little bit of the smart music one. But one of the things we've really tried to stress with everyone is the individualistic potential that the MacBook Air has and the formative assessment potential, and I think smart music really hits both of those.
When Dr. Vick made the great decision to go with the MacBook Airs, it gave us the opportunity to explore this program because it does take quite a bit of memory.
It's not just do this and you have nothing else to do. You have different options of how to play it and how to use your time.
I think smart music is probably the most remarkable practice aid I've encountered in all my years of teaching.
I taught for 31 years instrumental music, and I was never able, I had to spend hours and hours after school to achieve that same thing with the kids.
I've always kind of messed up a lot at home when I'm practicing, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to play that. I'll have to ask him tomorrow.
A way to for it to hear you, recognize your mistakes, and even give you help in fixing and adjusting what you need to do. That's the real game changer there.
You can learn.
So that's a little about smart music. The next section really talked about the professional learning that you've been doing, and I think it's absolutely groundbreaking, the amount and the type of learning that we've been doing. And so we got a couple of the developers who will love to be seen on video right now talking about that.
The biggest transition, I think, is that the kids can now discover. It's not just given to them. They have the opportunity to learn on their own. They have the chance to see things in action. It's not just, this is the way it would look. They can actually do it themselves on their computer. They have an opportunity to be more self-paced. So it's not just everybody getting the same thing at the same time. For instance, in geometry, there are so many theorems and postulates, things that we just, properties that we tell our kids, this is the way it is because that's the rule. And now with the computers, our kids can use programs like GeoGebra, Sketchpad, things like that, that our kids can actually graph those and see the properties in action. So there's no longer, here's the definition, it is go find out the properties, go find the definitions on your own.
The first thing that I thought that it really brought to the science classroom was engagement. It allows science teachers to do things and show kids things that they normally could not do. You know, they can make pictures come alive, they can see inside the human body. They can do digital labs where they may not have the resources to do them in the classroom. So it really just opens up and gives a lot of additional resources for science teachers. My focus is on helping my science teachers realize how the laptop can change instruction and how that laptop can be utilized to meet the individual needs of their students. We're focusing a lot on this year of how teachers can collect data to know where their students are and how they can change instruction to meet those needs.
PD has really evolved over time. The very first year that we had PD, it was all about getting our teachers ready to even use the computers, just computer use 101, and then introducing some of the digital tools. And then the second year, we really focused in on how can you incorporate these into the classroom. And then this year, our focus has really shifted into individual teacher needs. What does this individual teacher need to do in their classroom to incorporate the technology?
And I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, so talked about that a little bit. We chronicled the whole timeline of implementation. We included pictures of even when the laptops came and we were unboxing, and that was fun. Then we spent some time talking about compelling evidence of success. What evidence have we seen that we can put our finger on and say, if the student hadn't had this tool, they wouldn't be able to fill in the blank. And so one of the things that we really talked about, and I'll just play a little snippet of this one too, I won't play the whole thing, but what Reading Plus has done for the school.
Owensboro Middle School teachers are using the latest in technology to help their students out with reading. It's called Reading Plus, and it's a program on every middle schooler's laptop.
When those kids have that laptop, they're engaged and they're in the program. They're not waiting for the teacher to come around and see them. They're reading continuously for that 30 or 40 minutes rather than maybe reading a minute out of a 30-minute class when you're doing more of the round-robin traditional reading.
Reading Plus has different books on it and targets 3 areas.
It focuses on fluency, it focuses on vocabulary, and it focuses on comprehension. But what we liked about the program is the way that it did assessments is it tiered or leveled each student's ability, and their work is assigned to them based on their reading ability.
Here's how it works.
Okay, you all know how it works. Okay, so talked about that success that we've seen there. Included some teacher comments and student comments from surveys that we collected. The last section talked about flexible learning environments, how we might have changed the way that we see a classroom when we walk into it. And one of the ways that we've made that flexible is obviously the use of Moodle. And so Amanda's going to tell us about that.
The learning management system that we have chosen as a district to use has been Moodle, which has been beneficial to our students to have a central place where they can locate resources and assignments to assist them in their learning. There's a link through our website. Our district has set up, we have an internal server that they have set up that the kids have a direct shortcut on their laptop that they are able to quickly log in, and they join your classroom one time, and then from there they always have access to your class. It is linked.
So we talk about that, the way our facilities are, the way that we're structured with bandwidth and things, sort of rounds that section out. And then the last part was just the credits, who can we talk to in each of those sections that would know and be able to direct us. So that's pretty much the Owensboro Middle School story. So after I finished it, I was just telling Catherine, after I finished it, it's one of those things that, you know, I look back on it and go, wow, this is awesome. You all are doing really, really good work. So I would like for you all to give yourselves another round of applause. Great job.
We're on the right track, and what we're doing is the right thing for students.
The Apple Distinguished Schools program is a very prestigious program to even be considered to be a part of. And when we heard about the application phase, we really asked ourselves, should we apply? Are we at the point where we think we're really doing some innovative, groundbreaking work? And we came to the conclusion that we really were. And so we put our application out there not knowing really what was going to happen. And to our really pleasant surprise, we learned over the holidays that that we indeed were selected. It's really a huge honor. 76 schools this school year have been awarded that distinction out of thousands that have applied. So you can kind of see there, there's no other school in Kentucky that has received the distinguished school status. So we're pretty pleased about that.
Just points out to what a great job our teachers and our tech support staff is doing and helping our students be able to learn in different ways than what they normally do. So again, that's been great. It's the future. It's what's going to happen, and there's some challenges associated with it, but the risks are worth taking. It's imperative that we give our kids the tools that are going to be necessary to be successful. And so we know that every facet of life and business now is driven by the digital revolution that we're still in the middle of. And so the sooner we can get our students exposed and help them with the proper use of technology, the better learners that they're going to be and the more independent they're going to be in being able to determine what information they need and learning what they think is necessary to be successful.
There's a lot of work on the front end. There's a lot of work as far as the distribution at the beginning, taking them up at the end of the school year. But during the school year, as far as work is concerned, it's not nearly the task it is at the beginning and the end as far as taking them up and passing them out.
They use it to individualize their learning, get what they need, get the resource that will help them benefit, and then move on to something else. So the laptops are really fitting the bill well.